Jesse Holguin is a friend of the show as well, and he founded a group called Lexit, all about this Latino vote shift in America. Also does videos for PragerU. Jesse, good morning and welcome.
Thank you for having me on. It's a blessing.
Yeah, we spoke last week, and we talked then by email, and I said we got to get you on the show because you're somebody who's really speaking out about this shift among Latino voters. We saw it in Texas a week or two ago with Congresswoman Flores. What's your thoughts about whether Democrats are panicking that's not a flash in the pan, but that's the beginning of a real movement and a shift to the Republican Party?
Yes, it is. Their heads are exploding. That's why you've seen George Soros go out and spend 60 million in buying 18 Latino radio stations because they're panicking. They just can't understand it why Latinos are leaving the Democrat Party, and the reason is most is because of the inflation and the gas prices because we're just fed up, and then just all the wokeness and all of that leftism. Latinos are mostly God-fearing people. We're either Catholic or Christian. We're conservative.
Mm-hmm.
We have conservative values. So we're totally against all this leftist wokeism.
Jesse, you brought up a really good point there at the end. You see the beautiful cross behind you. Most of my Latino friends down here in Florida are all conservative when it comes to religion, and they're all very tightly knit, faith and family based communities and people. Do you think that the attacks of the left recently, the everything that's gone on with Roe and everything else, do you think that that's a major contributing factor to people making this shift?
Yes, that has a lot to do with it. But there's a slew of reasons why, like even the pandemic, because of all of that, the lockdowns and all that, people weren't happy with that. But like I said, um, the gas prices and just the inflation and all of that, and then but always even the border. See, like it should be it was an eye opener that Myra Flores victory in at the border because it was along the border. It was a straight Latino
Mm-hmm.
town, and she won. So that shows that Latinos aren't for open borders. Even on that issue, they're 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 losing. Even on taking away our
Yeah.
guns, if you name the issue, even like we don't like them, all this drag stuff and teaching our kids in schools. Just like I
Mm.
said, you name an issue, and we're pissed off. And see, they had just been manipulating us for so long, and even under Trump, they were able to manipulate using race to manipulate
Yeah.
minorities, blacks and Latinos. They were like, look, focus on race, race, race. Don't look at the economy. Don't look at your gun, your Second Amendment, all your other freedom of speech, all these other rights. Don't look at none of that. Just focus on race. They have been using that for so very long to manipulate
Yeah.
minorities, but now Latinos, because no matter how much propaganda they throw at us and all that, once the Latinos open their wallet or they're pumping gas, they're not
Hmm.
paying attention to none of that propaganda no more. It's hitting them in their
Yeah.
wallet. So that opened their eyes, and then now, and then so that opened their eyes. So then now they're seeing, like I said, the drag queen, the CRT, trying to take our guns, the
Yeah.
wokeism, and you can't even watch Disney now. Just like in so many things, we're like, whoa. So they're just waking up finally.
Jesse, you make so many great points when you talk about the drag show. People forget Hispanics,
Yeah, the
many
left
being
went so
Catholic.
far. They just kept pushing it and pushing it. It was one issue after the next.
Yeah, and so as a final question, we to wrap all that up, to Karen's point about here in Florida, maybe now spreading to Texas, as you suggest, because there was this assumption wrongly by Democrats like Chuck Schumer, oh, Latinos will love open borders. We're helping them. We're bringing in more Latinos.
And so
No,
many of them worked so hard to get here.
get here
It's a
legally,
slap in the
and they
face.
don't like it. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And Jesse made that point. Final question, though. A lot of Latinos down here in Florida as well fled socialism and communism. And they often say that they don't buy into AOC's vision of America. How much does that influence this shift as well?
So that's a big part of it because Latinos, most of our countries are corrupt. So we know firsthand the devastation of socialism, and we're against it. That's like you said, that's why we flee our countries. So we're against that. Just maybe a few little college kids that got indoctrinated at in college by their Marxist teachers or whatever. But the majority of Latinos, we're totally against communism, socialism, all that. We know all about it. We know firsthand. That's why we're fleeing our countries because of that.
Yeah.
So we're totally against that. And she doesn't speak for Latinos. She ain't in line with our values. So yeah, we're none of us are buying it. She's like a joke, anyways.
Wow, Jesse, speaking some truth,
Yeah,
throwing some
absolutely.
truth
Telling
bombs
it like it
today.
is.
Love it. Real quick,
Next
how can people?
knows.
Well, how can people find out more about Lexit? I want to make sure that these great patriots watching us this morning on Real America's Voice know more about you, your PragerU videos. Where can we find more about you, sir?
Just go to our website, wearelexit.com, or on Instagram under Lexit Movement, and Twitter, it's on Lexit, and then on Facebook, Real Lexit. But we're totally shadowed. They're censoring us really pretty bad, man, because they hate us. They hate because me, I'm an ex-gang member, Latino from the hood over here in LA. So they don't want me being conservative. They don't want us pushing it, and they see our numbers are skyrocketing. So they've been
Wow.
censoring us pretty bad. But
So
yeah, just
big
go to
tech coming. Yeah, big tech coming for you as well. We'll have to have you back
Very
to hear.
powerful.
Yeah, to hear that whole story
Yeah.
about how you
That sounds
found
like a
God
great story. I want to know more.
and your shift. So that's a
Yeah.
little tease. Jesse's coming back. The Lexit movement is growing. You see this shift among Hispanic voters, Latino voters, from the left to the right. Jesse's right at the center of it. We appreciate your time, sir. We'll have you back.
Thank you for having me on.